Beehive State. KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson says the storm should become a lot more isolated by this afternoon.
Into the nighttime hours, I'm also seeing a hint from models that we could see a little lake effect band try to fire back up. Not the highest confidence on that, but increasing snow showers for the overnight, maybe even into early Wednesday morning.
Matt says the mountains could pick up 2 feet of snow in spots by tonight. The storm will bring in several more feet of snow in the mountains. At KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla has a look at the snowpack before the storm.
We're actually right on track with the 30-year average, with 13.4 inches of water in the mountains. The total has been trailing behind the average for most of the year, so the boost will be good for our water totals. It's looking good in northern Utah. Weeper and Ogden totals are about 108% of normal. The Provo River is at 111% of normal, and Tooele is at 118%. But southern Utah is not doing as well. Southwest Utah is only 58% of normal, and Escalante is 48%. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
Our top national story this hour from ABC News. The family of the missing University of Pittsburgh student who went to the Dominican Republic on spring break believes she has died. The parents of Sudiksha Konanki sent a letter to investigators asking them to declare her dead. Your money at this moment, the Dow is down this morning 0.75%, 326 points to 41,515. Coming up, we check traffic and weather together because traffic and weather are a problem together. KSL News Time 9:01.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
Looking for the best value in Utah for your storage needs? Apex Shed Company is your answer. With over 30 years of experience, they pride themselves on building the highest quality sheds, chicken coops, greenhouses, and more. Don't miss their winter blowout sale happening now. For a limited time, take 10% off any shed when you mention this ad. That's up to $1,000 off. Whether you need a basic storage solution or a fully customized shed, they've got you covered. Customer satisfaction is their top priority, and their glowing Google reviews speak for themselves. Help them keep their skilled team busy this winter and benefit from the best prices of the year. Visit apexshedcompany.com or call 801-754-3334 to learn more. Apex Shed Company. Nobody builds a better shed. Remember, this sale won't last forever, so act fast and secure your discount today. Visit apexshedcompany.com or call 801-754-3334 today.
Discover the timeless value at Duke's Jewelers, a local treasure since 1948. Whether you're searching for a unique engagement ring or need expert watch repair, Duke's has been serving the community for over 75 years. It's the perfect time to visit and explore the wide selection of custom designs and quality gemstones. The skilled designers at Duke's can bring your dream piece to life, while experienced jewelers handle repairs and modifications in-house. Duke's Jewelers takes pride in value pricing, ensuring you receive the best prices every day. Need an appraisal? The Duke's Jewelers AGS certified gemologist is here to help. Whether it's hand or machine engraving, or redesigning old favorites into something new, get personalized service for every occasion. Visit Duke's Jewelers and experience the difference of locally operated expertise and dedication. Duke's Jewelers in Springfield, Utah.
A couple weeks ago was nice, but you didn't really think we were done with the cold, did you? What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and if you haven't scheduled your annual furnace tune-up yet, I got some good news for you. Normally, we charge $124 to tune up your furnace, but not today. If you call today, Tuesday, March 18th, and mention you heard this ad, we'll give you $95 off and tune up your furnace for only $29. You won't hear this ad tomorrow, so call Any Hour Services right now to schedule. 801-443-7400. A furnace tune-up is the least expensive way to extend the life of your furnace and avoid unexpected breakdowns. And our technicians service all brands. 801-443-7400. If it's more convenient, go to anyhourservices.com and look for the red button that says Book Online. Schedule your $29 tune-up there. That's a $124 value for only $29 if you get a hold of Any Hour Services today. Call 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com.
Emergency traffic brought to you by Mountain America's low-rate auto loans. It is still a nightmare trying to travel through long stretches of the Wasatch Front. I-15 backed up from 800 north in Orem, well, maybe a little bit north of that. Stop and go all the way up into American Fork. The southbound direction, not as bad, but still reduced speeds because the snow affects both sides of the freeway. We've still got long delays crossing Lehigh to get to I-15 on both Pioneer Crossing and 2100 North. State Street and American Fork also backed up. We've got delays from Point of the Mountain to Draper. Reduced speeds continue. A really bad southbound stretch of I-15 in Murray. Mountain View and Bangor are inching along as the plows are trying to help things out, especially on Mountain View in Kearns. Coming out of Davis County, the southbound drive is actually okay. Okay compared to what you're in Salt Lake Valley, but it starts to bog down in Woods Cross, and that continues all the way into downtown Salt Lake right now. Is the IRS harassing you, garnishing your wages, or threatening asset seizure? Get immediate relief. Contact Utah Tax Attorney Jordan Wilcox. Visit endtaxworry.com. That's endtaxworry.com. KSL weather, the snow will continue. It should fizzle out by tomorrow morning. Today, though, will be cold. Highs right around 40. Right now, it's 34 degrees and snowing along the Wasatch Front. I'm Andy Farnsworth from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio. Dave and Dujanovic. Special coverage of the top local story.
And just days before spring rolls in, Mother Nature stepped up with a pretty big snowstorm. It sounds like this could be the biggest snowstorm of the season, at least so far, Dave.
Finally, we are delivering on winter. It's the final week. I get it. There was just days left, but we're finally delivering with a massive snowstorm.
How was your commute?
It was a nightmare. But I will say this. There was a ton of snow on the road. It was hard to drive in. It was blinding. This was the most respectful commute I've ever experienced in Utah. Everyone's driving 25 to 30 miles an hour. Nobody's like 85 down the side spraying everybody. It was the most respectful. I commend you, Utah. We've figured it out. I'm sure we'll never go back to our bad habits.
A lot of people still stuck in traffic right now because of accidents, just because it's so slow and go this morning because of the roads. Let's get over to Andy Farnsworth, who's standing by for us in the traffic center. Good morning, Andy. You've been tracking this storm and the traffic all morning long. What do you know right now?
Well, right now the area to avoid, or at least to be patient in, is I-15 between American Fork and Linden, and then between Point of the Mountain and about Sandy, it looks like right now. It's been really rough for the late part of the morning on Mountain View and Bangor Highway. And part of the problem on those roads, Debbie, is once they get backed up, the plows can't really do their work because there's nowhere to go. Like, you'd have to get everybody off the road so the plows could clear it and then let them go again. But they kind of have to inch along with the traffic. So that, until the volume of traffic goes down, probably will be pretty tough. But the storm didn't really hit as hard road-wise up north of Salt Lake City, and I'm sure Matt will explain all that. But Little Cottonwood Canyon has reopened from avalanche control. That is something that'll help for people who want to enjoy the snow, because, some people like the snow.
Yeah, they're waiting to get up the canyon and do some skiing this afternoon. Anything else?
Well, those are the hot spots right now, and we'll keep an eye. I'm sure it'll shift around. I'm going to listen to what Matt says where it's going to know what to keep an eye on next.
Thanks, Andy. Now, typically, it is great news for the skiers in the world to have these big snowstorms, but this seems to be the wettest snow possible, so it's not always great skiing snow. But joining us right now, Matt Johnson, KSL meteorologist, and Matt, it does seem to be a very heavy snow.
Yeah, this is a wet, heavy snow that we're seeing. Great for water content in the valleys and the mountains, but for skiers, it's a little dense on those turns.
I think a lot of people sitting in their car right now might want to know, how long is this wave going to last? Will we get hit again for the afternoon commute, Matt?
Yeah, so looking at radar, this is going to be more increasingly confined to areas south and east of the Great Salt Lake as we progress through the morning and into the lunch hour. Hardest hit areas right now is Tooele Valley, the south end of the Salt Lake Valley, and north end of Utah Valley. And it's funny because Salt Lake Valley south end and north end of Utah Valley was seeing nothing for the early morning commute. But now for those later morning commutes, the 8, 9 a.m. drivers, things have picked up and we've got road snow down there. So that should start to dissipate, though, as we head into the lunch hour.
Lunch hour is when we should be largely clear of the snowstorms themselves.
Yeah, and even so, that being said, I am seeing high-resolution models' latest data saying that some snow showers could still pop up, but the widespread snow that we've been seeing all morning long, that's going to be kind of chunked up, broken up.
And this is the largest snowstorm of the season so far?
Officially, we've measured 3.4 inches of snow at the airport. That marks our biggest snowfall of the season.
You're keeping an eye to see if we get any more, of course,
Yes.
as spring rolls in.
Right.
Mother Nature decides to show up for us just a couple of days before the calendar flips over to the spring. Thank you so much, Matt Johnson, KSL meteorologist. Want to get out to the roads right now with KSL News Radio's Adam Small. He's been out there all morning long. Adam, I heard you reporting this morning for Utah's Morning News. Are you still up in the Centerville area right now?
Yeah, Debbie, I'm just I'll call it a click off of Parish Lane. I took another run down I-15 real quick, and I think Matt described it best when he talked about how people in the Salt Lake Valley and Utah County are seeing more snow now. Like, it really just flipped because I came up here because during our show we were seeing the biggest delays coming out of Farmington going down to Salt Lake, and then Ogden started getting really bad. So I come up here, and then now in just the last 30 minutes or so, visibility has improved so much. I can actually see Antelope Island right now for the first time all morning. So I feel like the storm conditions have flipped a ton since early this morning, where right now, the roads up here are wet, but at this moment, there's not even a snowflake falling on my windshield. So, people up here are getting a little bit of a break.
That sounds like a win.
And Adam, what a change from this morning when visibility was just absolutely abysmal, especially where you were at in Centerville, the Bountiful area where you're driving. And not only is it wet and snowy on the roads, but it was just blowing straight into windshields.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because I've told you guys before. I grew up in New England. The snow that we're getting today, this is a lot like the kind of snow you get out in a more humid atmosphere like that. I've had to brush off my car twice today. Snow felt exactly like how I would have to brush it off out east. You have to put some muscle behind it, and that wet snow when it gets on the road, the spray. Good luck if you're driving behind a semi on a morning like today, where you got to put the wipers on full blast. But yeah, no, it was really intense with the spray. But thankfully, with how wet it's been, it's also, I think, made it a little bit harder for snow to stick to the roads unless you get up to the higher elevations like the benches. So at least I think it's helped with the aftermath of the storm, too, where we didn't have a lot of snow actually stick to the roads. So they're wet, but the recovery has made it's been a lot better. So.
Adam Small, be safe out there. Thank you so much for bringing us up to speed. Adam, live for us this morning in Centerville. He's been out on the roads all morning long covering this storm as it blew through. And you heard from meteorologist Matt Johnson just moments ago saying by the lunch hour, we should be in the clear. It might circle back to some degree later tonight. But, of course, you'll want to keep it with Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News to check your afternoon drive this afternoon starting at 3. But for right now, the roads, at least outside of Broadcast House, look like things are melting off and they're under control. And not so much the case as I tried to tactically make my way into downtown Salt Lake City this morning, Dave. I looked out the window this morning and thought I'd won the lottery because I didn't get any snow out in South Jordan, at least not a lot, not enough to scare me into trying to fake a, hey, I'm sick, call to you this morning. I don't think I'll be in. So I jumped in the car, drove in, but by the time I hit the Salt Lake City area, it was getting pretty bad. And then I made this tactical decision that turned out to be a mistake. It's all about what road will be the most plowed road or the less frozen over road for me when I'm driving in. And I decided for some unknown reason, I'm still trying to figure out, to take the 4th South Bridge. So I came in from Redwood Road, and I decided to go down 4 South and I took the 4 South Bridge, which is just a climb and a climb and a climb up. And by the time I got to the top of the bridge, I'm like, this thing's icy, and it's getting icier, and I'm doomed because now I got to go down this bridge. Thankfully, no other cars in front of me. Did do a little fishtailing. But that was a mistake for me this morning to take that road in. However, I'm not the only one who probably got stuck on some steep trap. I didn't say speed trap, steep trap on their way to work this morning. So let's go over like the roads that you should probably avoid on a day like today. And I'd love to take your live calls, 801-575-TALK. What's that one road that you know you're going to be avoiding on a day like today because it's just too steep? Is it somewhere on Bangerter? Is it somewhere on Mountain View Corridor? Is it that 4 South Bridge that I totally regretted taking on this morning? It was a huge mistake. I actually thought I should just park my car at the bottom of this thing and walk to KSL. I'm that close. What are the roads for you, Dave?
Okay, there's a place in Layton, and I'm going to have to reach out to our listeners right now. You're going to have to remind me because I want to say Church Street in Layton. So it is a dip. It is a straight down, straight up, kind of down into a little bit of a valley, and then it comes straight up, and it is an absolute monster. Why? I should remember this because it has scarred me for my entire life. That's probably why the name is leaving my brain, because my mom insisted in teaching every single one of us how to drive a manual transmission. And where do you think she took a step? It was to fill in the blank whatever street in Layton.
And you said I think it's Church Street?
Oh, is it Church?
Wouldn't that be ironic?
Oh, it was anything but celestial.
It's anything but a blessing.
It was absolute.
801-575-TALK. What's that one street?
What's it called?
That you avoid driving? And let's help Dave out. What is that street that he learned to drive on? 801-575-TALK. It was just steep. Is that the deal?
Yes.
It's just so steep?
And what's the worst part about it is you start up on a hill and then you're driving down, and I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, I know what she's going to do. She's going to stick me on the uphill, and then we're going to pull off to the side, and I'm going to have to put it in first gear and not roll back in my manual transmission. And by the time I was done on that blasted road, I am sweating profusely, bleeding from my eyeballs. It was like the worst experience of my life. So anybody that is experiencing these steep roads right now, especially with the terrible weather that we have and the snow, go ahead. Let's share your horror stories.
801-575-TALK. Caitlin is taking live phone calls right now in the control room. She'll be loading your calls into the system in just a minute. But let's get these calls rolling because I want to know what roads to avoid myself. There's a few that I already know about because I've driven them for 30 years. If you've ever been out to Cottonwood Heights, you know what I'm talking about. From Fort Union to 6200 South, right where you get off the freeway there at Knutson Corner. And nobody knows what that's called unless you live out there. I avoid 30th East. It is straight up. It's straight up. And also Fort Union's a little dicey too. If you're coming off of out of the canyons and you're going down Fort Union Boulevard, maybe you're trying to get over to the freeway I-15 or over to I-215, and you don't want to go back around Knutson Corner because that's a little dicey. Coming down Fort Union Boulevard is it's just it's trickery. Axios wrote an article about this. Dave, you've taken another. You love this article that Axios wrote not too long ago about steep streets that are steep as, in some cases, the blue runs at ski resorts.
It's a ski run. It's straight up. If you were to throw skis on or your snowboard on, you could straight up go down, and you would not be able to tell the difference between an actual ski run and this. It is a nightmare. West Zane Avenue has a 20-degree slope. It's the steepest single block found in Salt Lake.
It's right by the Capitol.
It's right by the Capitol.
If you don't drive that area, you don't know about it. I've driven that for decades to get to the Capitol, to cover news on Capitol Hill. It's nuts. It is just, it's like I will know if I'm going to take that street going up, I'm going to be probably sliding back down. What's another one, Dave?
Well, let me just say, to give you an idea of how steep that is, over a football field. So it's 100 yards in a car. That's nothing, right? 100 yards, it goes up almost 80 feet of elevation. So 8-story building worth of climb in just 100 yards. That West Zane Avenue, by Capitol Street. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's no wonder you want to avoid that street. We'll have more streets in just a moment.
Surprised my mom didn't teach me how to drive on that one.
Zach and Lehigh, Timpanogos Highway.
Yes, right if you get off the freeway by the outlets going up the hill right there, it's always super wet and icy across all of it because the wind just blows all the snow out of the fields.
I would cry.
Yes.
If I saw that, I would cry. I would stop the car, probably pull off the side
I
of the road.
did it a few months ago, and I was going faster in my neighborhood than down Timpanogos Highway. That tells you how bad it was.
Zach, be safe out there. Thanks for the call. Rich and Layton, what's the street Dave's thinking of?
Rich,
are you there?
It starts at Church Street. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
It is actually Antelope Drive, and it starts at Church Street and then goes all the way down and all the way back up again. And, yeah, it's treacherous all the way down and back up right in there.
Yes, that's right. I had Church Street in my mind. That was the beginning of Dave's End. It goes between Church Street and Highway 89. You're right. It's right on Antelope Drive. It is a nightmare.
Nobody sees the irony but me that it's named Church Street. And it's like Dave's worst enemy. Daryl and Sandy, I agree with you. Wasatch Boulevard. I'm sure it's lined up with people waiting to get up the canyons right now, right?
It's lined up from north to south as far as you can see. I'm going the opposite way, and it's a joke. It's a parking lot. But they're all on their way to the ski.
Yeah, they lined up for Little Cottonwood Canyon, Big Cottonwood, or both?
Both. I went past Little Cottonwood 15 minutes ago, and now I'm past Big Cottonwood, and the line still continues. I mean, it just doesn't end.
It doesn't end. Yeah, I've had plenty of family. Myself, I've been caught in that line. And sometimes, because I lived right below Wasatch Boulevard forever and a day, and it wasn't as busy back in the day as it is now. But sometimes on a really good snow day, I would have forgotten that the skiers are super antsy to get up the hill right away. It's like, that's not my cup of tea. I'm going to go on a day where y'all have kind of, glossed over the powder for me. But I would get trapped just trying to get to the grocery store on that line on Wasatch Boulevard. Big mistake. Hi, Brandy.
Hi.
What's the one road you try to avoid on a snowy day?
Well, the problem is you can't avoid it. It's the road that goes to the elementary in Santaquin, and it is a straight up hill, and you got everybody trying to take their kids to the elementary school, and they're sliding back down the hill.
How do the school buses handle that? Because I can imagine that just must be a nightmare for the school buses.
I have no idea how they handle it. I haven't actually seen a school bus on that road, but I'm sure it's just insane. My daughter lived at the bottom of the hill, and so I just watched these cars pile up every time it would snow and get icy.
Yeah, it's one of those things when we have these very steep slopes, and there are slopes, again, I just stood out to me. They are the same slope as ski runs up in the mountains. Like, there's some that are that steep. Well, it just tells you have to pay extra attention if you're a city. You've got to demand your city makes sure that they hit it multiple times during a storm, because once you start getting that buildup and it starts packing down and becomes slick, it is so dangerous.
Dave and I talking about the biggest snowstorm of the season, according to Matt Johnson, our KSL meteorologist, who just joined us moments ago.
We've measured 3.4 inches of snow at the airport. That marks our biggest snowfall of the season.
It's trying to get out of here by noon. You'll have to check back in this afternoon with Jeff Kaplan to make sure your afternoon commute is going to go A-okay. But we're also talking about, like, what are those steep roads in a storm like this that you want to avoid? Tyler in Lehigh, what's that one road you can't stand on a day like today?
It's 1200 east. It dips down into Dry Creek. So if you're heading north or south, right off Timpanogos Highway, you have to go down in this really large hill, and the speed limit's only 30, but the average person, usually speeds up to 45. And a day like this, you don't want to be on that hill with someone behind you not ready to slow down.
It sounds like what Zach called earlier, Tyler, from Lehigh, too, and he said Timpanogos Highway, that hill on Timpanogos Highway is scary stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I actually work for the city and their power department, and I drive the roads constantly, and I'm out there helping them out wherever I can to make sure that they know where it needs cleaned up. So.
Well, you're awesome, Tyler. Stay safe out there. Thanks so much for calling and checking in on us, telling us what roads to avoid on a day like today. I've got my handful of roads that I always avoid. It would be best if you could just stay home, but you can't. You got to get to work. Like Tyler, he works for the city. He's got to be at work. So Those are the roads that folks are avoiding. What other roads, Dave, is on the list that Axios put out?
Let me just rattle off a few of the ski run roads. That's what I'm going to call them. The ski run roads, 300 North, West Girard, Harrison Avenue, Browning Avenue, which apparently, according to Axios, I didn't know this, is nicknamed the Browning Butt Burner because it's an incredible workout if you're running up that bad boy. So, yeah, Harrison Avenue, Browning Avenue, Apricot Avenue, all over 17 degrees. So, yeah, we got some steep roads around here. And we appreciate you sharing everything, calling in and giving us your worst places. And thanks for solving my mystery. Yeah. I knew it was in Layton. I knew there was a Church Street involved, but it was Antelope, and it is straight down, straight up. And apparently that's where Mom wants to teach you how to drive a manual transmission.
So this almost spring blast of winter, we're going to check in with snow totals because apparently they're phenomenal. We'll be checking with snow totals with our meteorologists in the 11 o'clock hour of the Dave and Dujanovic show. But straight ahead, American shoppers are two-faced, and I'm calling you out on this. You are two-faced. You scream, buy American, shop American. But you actually don't buy American. And I'll explain why I'm calling you out on this next.
15 years ago, we were adding on to our home, and so I convinced Sean we should update the kitchen.
We did some research, and we decided to go with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. Their reputation was phenomenal. To design, do the construction and the finish work, what we wanted was what we got from start to finish. So fast forward 15 years, our family's changed. We've gotten bigger.
There just wasn't the space in the kitchen anymore. People were banging into each other.
We decided 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. Here's the problem. What are our solutions? Comparing working with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath 15 years ago, today, their ability to design what you want was the same.
Everything has been what I want.
The quality of 3-Day Kitchen and Bath, I think, is phenomenal. The countertops and the cabinets that they use are great. They were just good guys doing good work.
For more about your new kitchen or bath, visit 3daykitchen.com.
3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Hi, it's Julie from the Visitors Bureau in Logan. I'm here to make your spring break planning so easy. Here we go. Reserve your hotel room right now. Don't miss the original Baby Animal Days at the American West Heritage Center, April 2nd through the 5th and 10th through the 12th. Watch your kids and grandkids cuddle all the baby animals like lambs, goats, piglets, bunnies, and chicks. So adorable. Or forget the kids, you'll love them too. Baby bears from Yellowstone Bear World will be here April 2nd through the 5th, combined with the Cache Valley Mountain Man Rendezvous, non-stop adventure. Next, head to the Cache Valley Fun Park for laser tag, roller skating, bowling, and arcade games. Take your family to Angie's for the kitchen sink, a mountainous banana split on steroids served in an actual sink. Pick up a life supply of goldfish crackers at the Pepperidge Farm Factory or see them hand-dipping chocolates at the Bluebird Candy Company. Head to Logan for spring break or anytime you need a break. ExploreLogan.com. ExploreLogan.com.
We could all use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
It's Power Torque Tools DIY days at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Lifetime guaranteed Power Torque professional hand tools only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hello, Utah. I'm Josh with IWC Roofing. For over 25 years, my family has been safeguarding your homes with the finest roofing solutions. We value your time, and we're committed to replacing most roofs in just one day with a peace of mind 50-year shingle warranty. Call us today at 801-232-5690 or visit IWCRoofingUtah.com. Ask us for the $1,500 off any full roof replacement. Financing available, 801-232-5690. Utah homeowners, look no further than IWC Roofing for a roof that stands the test of time. With 25 years of excellence, IWC is your trusted family-owned roofing expert. At IWC, we offer one-day roof replacements with top-tier quality materials, all with a 50-year shingle warranty. To keep a leaky roof from dampening your day, we're offering $1,500 off a full roof replacement. Get a free estimate. Call 801-232-5690 or visit IWCRoofingUtah.com. 801-232-5690.
It's 9:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Andy Farnsworth. KSL's top story this hour. The attorneys representing the Park City mom accused of killing her husband and writing a children's book about grief are asking the state to move her case to a different county. The request says the media portrayal of Corey Richens vilifies her and carries more weight in Summit County, where the trial currently is. The court has not yet responded. A recent study done by Wallet Hub shows Utahns in the Salt Lake area own few credit cards. To keep a good credit score, the general advice is to make payments on time, don't max out your cards, and to own just a few of them. In the study, Wallet Hub sorted 182 cities, showing who had the most cards at the top and who had the fewest at the bottom. West Valley came in at 180, almost at the very bottom.
Utahns have been known for good fiscal responsibility as a whole.
DMBA financial planner Shane Stewart tells KSL TV these small decisions make a huge difference, affecting your ability to get a loan, a job, or car insurance. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. On the day that Louisiana's first execution in 15 years is scheduled to take place, attorneys for the inmate are hoping for a last-minute reprieve.
Lawyers working on behalf of Jesse Hoffman Jr. have launched a barrage of court filings arguing that the method the state of Louisiana plans to use to put Hoffman to death, nitrogen hypoxia, is unconstitutionally cruel. Hoffman's last hope may be the U.S. Supreme Court, but the High Court last year declined to halt the nation's first nitrogen hypoxia execution.
ABC's Jim Ryan reporting. Your money at this moment, the Dow's down 0.8%, 344 points in the negative to 41,497. Coming up, we've still got emergency traffic with all this snow in the air and on the roads. Traffic and weather together is next. KSL News Time, 9:32.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
Healthcare with human kindness is here. It's at Common Spirit Health. Hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advance healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Together, we have a common purpose, partnering with you in health and healing using powerful medicine, powerful technology, and the greatest power of all, human kindness. You'll know it when you see it, because human kindness is in every care site and in every caregiver. Common Spirit Health. Hello, human kindness.
At Golden Rule Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, our golden opportunity is back. The free furnace promotion is here and just in time for tax return season, and this time it's even better. Our free furnace promotion on any complete system replacement now includes no payments for 1 year. Free furnace, no payments. Now that's the Golden Rule. Visit goldenrulephc.com today.
We obey the rules to live by. Golden Rule. Plumbing, heating, and cooling.
Emergency traffic on KSL News Radio, brought to you by Mountain America's low-rate auto loans. Well, we've been watching the big delays and crashes causing problems in Utah County. The snow has got you slowest in both directions right now between the south end of Lehigh and the north end of Orem, particularly northbound I-15 between Linden and Pleasant Grove, and on Pioneer Crossing near the freeway. I-15 still backed up going over Point of the Mountain, but we've got southbound delays, at least backups on the freeway from Draper down towards the point. Very slow going on all your eastbound cross streets trying to get over to I-15. Redwood Road, not even plowed. It's slushy. We've got delays on 104th South going back past Bingham High. We've got 114th South busy from Redwood almost all the way to the freeway. Still have delays on Mountain View and on Bangerter, especially Mountain View. If you can avoid Mountain View between 6200 and 3500 South, that is what I highly would recommend. Get ready for a rate with a view. For a limited time, Mountain America has auto loans as low as 5.74% APR. Apply today at macu.com. KSL weather, the snow will continue, should fizzle out by tomorrow morning, but today's going to be cold with highs around 40. Right now, it is 34 degrees, mostly cloudy and snowing in several areas. I'm Andy Farnsworth from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio. Dave and Dujanovic, special coverage of the top national story.
I call American shoppers two-faced. Because on the one hand, you cry, buy American, shop American. But you don't. And that's why I say you're two-faced. You say one thing, you do another. Case in point, Forever 21. You ever heard of Forever 21, Dave?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, they're not going to be around forever. It turns out they're going under. They filed for bankruptcy. They're going out of business. They're liquidating their stores. And this company, Forever 21, is founded in Los Angeles. Low-cost retailer, right? But even their cheap prices were not enough to draw Americans into their stores. Many of them are in malls, or keep drawing Americans into stores because Americans are running to China's big clothing giant Shein to buy. So goodbye, Forever 21.
You just described my daughter's clothing journey over the last 10 years. Like 100%. Starts off at Forever 21. That was her go-to place. She would buy all her clothes there. And then as soon as she found Shein, she broke up with Forever 21 like a terrible date. Like left mid-date, walked out, didn't pay the bill, stuck the guy with the check, walked away, and has not cheated on Shein since. It is 100% all Shein all the time.
So are you a two-faced American shopper, Dave? You scream on the radio, buy American.
I do not.
Shop American.
No. Okay. A lot of people are two-faced. You're right.
But
a lot of
behind the scenes, you're actually buying from Shein?
I've never been two-faced. I've always been very out there. If I will go with the best price. All I care about is the best price. Now, is it ethical of me to say that? No. Is it right? No. But how do I walk away? So again, let me take you back to my daughter. She goes to Forever 21, breaks up, goes with Shein forever. She leaves on a mission, comes back. She needs a new wardrobe.
How
right?
long has she gone? 2 years?
A year and a half.
A year and a half.
So
okay.
she needs a new wardrobe. She, everything's, ruined. All her stuff's gone. All right. So she's goes to Shein. And I'm like, just buy whatever you need. Right. She buys, I kid you not, Debbie, it had to have been 20 to 30 items. What does 20 to 30 items cost you? Because she walked away $200. It was like $200, $225. She's showing me all of her dresses, all of her shirts, her pants, shorts, swimsuits, all these things for under $200. And we're like high-fiving each other. This is amazing. This is incredible. We will never cheat on Shein. You are the greatest company ever.
And this is she uses an app probably to order.
Mm-hmm.
So she's downloaded the app to her phone. It's an e-tailer.
Yep.
She can't go to an
e-tailer?
Yeah, an e-tailer.
Okay.
She can't go to a Shein store and try this stuff on. So she's got to order this, and it's coming from China.
Which I had no idea. Like, I didn't know. I have no idea where Forever 21 came from.
Ignorance of the shopping experience is no excuse, Dad.
I don't know, nor do I care.
Well, you must have suspected because dresses are like $7 and $8.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
So I caught this story on Forever 21's final chapter on NBCnews.com this morning. And I just thought, this is just the story of another company, going under, another retailer going out of business. I think about like Joann's Fabric going out of business recently, Party City going out of business. But to me, this took on a different twist when I listened to the report from Brian Chung of NBC News. And he really explains why Forever 21 became no match for Chinese competitors like Shein.
Forever, no more.
For 4 decades, Forever 21 prided itself on cheap, trendy clothing. But now, the American fast fashion giant announcing it's filing for bankruptcy and liquidating its assets.
Honestly, I think it's gone kind of downhill.
The closures come with deep in-store discounts and up to 80% off online. In its bankruptcy filing, the retailer blamed in part fierce competition from Chinese retailers Shein and Temu, which keep prices low with help from a trade exemption that allows them to skirt import taxes and tariffs.
Their clothes are at a way lower price than Forever 21. So it made it extremely difficult for Forever 21 to operate.
Forever 21, founded in Los Angeles, survived a bankruptcy 5 years ago, restructuring and closing more than 100 stores. Unable to find a buyer for the remaining 350 stores, this new bankruptcy is likely to be the end.
The problem with Forever 21 is they had a broken business model. They had these big stores, tons of dresses and clothing, and you could walk in and try stuff on. Well, if you're making very little, if you're making very affordable, trendy clothes, well, you still have got to pay for all the overhead. Well, what Shein does is we're just going to ship it directly to you. So I don't need to pay for electricity. I don't need to pay for an office manager. I don't need to pay for someone to design this place or pay rent. I don't need any of that. So it's not surprising. Online shopping has cut out so many of the brick and mortar stores, and they can pass those savings on to people. And that's exactly what we've done. We've said goodbye to the brick and mortar. I'll buy it online.
Okay. You are avoiding the elephant in the room. You have not talked about the fact that China produces cheap clothing largely because of working conditions.
Yes.
And I'm calling you out on that.
It's a fair call out.
I think that is why so many Americans are okay with being two-faced when they're shopping.
Totally true.
When you don't go shop and actually buy American, you just say that at the company party, or you say that at Thanksgiving dinner. We're buying American. It's important to shop American. But then you're like downloading these e-tailer apps that are super cheap. You can get a dress. Honestly, you can get a dress on Shein for under $10. And they ship it to your door. And even if it doesn't fit, you're like, I'll just wear this a couple times. No big deal. I didn't spend a lot of money on it. But you do not talk about the conditions under what that outfit has been made under.
100% true.
Tell them what you know about that.
We don't want to know. We want to pay our $7 for that dress because we don't want to go to the State Department's website, and it's right here. In China, in the Xinjiang province, this is how they describe it. Authorities use threats of physical violence. This is how they produce that $7 dress, by the way. Authorities use threats of physical violence, forcible drug intake, physical and sexual abuse, torture to force detainees to work in adjacent or off-site factories, to produce garments, footwear, carpet, yarn, food products, holiday decorations, building materials, and materials for solar power. We don't want to know that, and we don't want to address that, Debbie, because we like to pay $7. You're absolutely right. We are 100% two-faced because we will turn a blind eye so that we can get our $7 dress.
Well, and now a company that was started in Los Angeles, Forever 21, is going under. And in fact, they called this out in their bankruptcy filing, saying they just cannot keep up with the likes of Temu, which is another Chinese company, and Shein, very, very popular e-tailer. Lots of people buy on Shein. I've purchased on Shein. I've bought outfits on Shein. And now I'm going to rethink this again. I say buy American. I love the idea of buying American. The problem is we're two-faced. We don't actually follow through with it. So 801-575-TALK, 801-575-TALK. Justify why you say buy American, but you actually buy from China, right? Let's talk about it. Your live calls, 801-575-TALK, next.
These days, losing weight is such a roller coaster. You try the new medications, and when you stop taking them, you gain it all back. Today is a new day.
Today is a new day. Today is a new day.
Let Soda Weight Loss teach you the healthy, natural way to let go of the weight for good.
Do you know how good it feels to let go of 51 pounds of belly fat? And I did it without drugs, shots, or hunger. Because Soda Weight Loss works. Just look at all the Google reviews and all the thousands of before and after pictures.
For a limited time, 2 people can start with Soda Weight Loss for the price of one.
What does that mean? It's more fun?
Double the motivation, double the results, half the cost.
The best decision I've made in a long time was just to call Soda Weight Loss.
Take advantage of Soda Weight Loss 2-for-1 partner program. Visit sodaweightloss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com. Soda is, say it with me, state of the art.
A couple weeks ago was nice, but you didn't really think we were done with the cold, did you? What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and if you haven't scheduled your annual furnace tune-up yet, I got some good news for you. Normally, we charge $124 to tune up your furnace, but not today. If you call today, Tuesday, March 18th, and mention you heard this ad, we'll give you $95 off and tune up your furnace for only $29. You won't hear this ad tomorrow, so call Any Hour Services right now to schedule. 801-443-7400. A furnace tune-up is the least expensive way to extend the life of your furnace and avoid unexpected breakdowns, and our technicians service all brands. 801-443-7400. If it's more convenient, go to anyhourservices.com and look for the red button that says Book Online. Schedule your $29 tune-up there. That's a $124 value for only $29 if you get a hold of Any Hour Services today. Call 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com.
Dave and Dujanovic.
We're talking about Forever 21 going out of business forever. They're liquidating their stores right now. And I think that this speaks to the fact that American shoppers are two-faced. You say buy American, which, by the way, Forever 21 was started in Los Angeles. But when it comes down to it, you're really buying from the Chinese clothing company Shein. In fact, that's what Forever 21 called out in their bankruptcy filing. They can't compete with Shein anymore. And I just loaded, Dave, in my cart. I Googled Shein on my phone, and I loaded in my cart 4 clothing items for a total of $35. But that's before the 30% off coupon they offered me. So 4 clothing items for in the neighborhood of maybe $25. And wow. I bet you if I play my cards right, I can get free shipping on that. 801-575-TALK. Are you a two-faced American shopper? You say one thing, but you actually do another. You say buy American, but you buy from China.
And ultimately, we will always pick the cheaper option. We won't pay a premium. We just won't. If we like the product, if it's good enough, and it's a great price, how many of us have gone out there and purchased cheap chargers for our $1,000 iPhone?
I called you out on that not too long ago.
I'm 100%.
He was complaining about the $50 price tag on the charger that he was going to buy. He wanted one for much less money. And I said, but you spent $1,600 on that iPhone. And his light bulb went off. I could see it go off. And you're like, oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But you're just looking for the cheapest product on the market to fix what you need to have fixed. And the issue I have is if you're going to say it, if you're going to say buy American, then do it. But you're not. Shein's business, like $11 billion of its $30+ billion of profits in 2023 came from the U.S., from U.S. shoppers. $11 billion we spent buying clothes from that e-tailer that ships from China. 801-575-TALK. Are you one of those two-faced American shoppers?
Carol in Mill Creek. What do you think, Carol?
Hi, yeah. I'm just driving in my car, so I'm going to pull over. Anyway, I have been, my husband been looking for a specific kind of jogging pants, and we've been to all the local stores, couldn't find what he wanted, so ordered it from Amazon. Normally we get 1 to 2 day delivery. Well, it didn't show up. Checked on it. It was coming from China, and we did not know that, or we would not have ordered it. So someplace like that, you are buying from China, and you have no idea. So I think a store like that should say where it's coming from.
So Carol, did you guys ship the pants back?
Well, we tried because, number one, they didn't fit right. I guess they're made for smaller people. And we tried and called Amazon, and they said, oh, we don't take refunds, just keep it. So they gave us a refund, and we gave them away. But, it's just, it kind of makes you nervous when you don't really have a choice and you don't know that you're doing it.
And we don't know. And even Forever 21, even though it was started in L.A., it was founded in L.A., there's no guarantee that all these clothes that were being manufactured were American-made clothes. We don't know that. None of us know this. Very few of us will actually grab a pair of pants, look at it. Let me see where it was made in. And is there a difference if it was made in Vietnam or in China? Does it matter to you? I just don't give that much thought to the things that I purchase. I look at the price and then I purchase. Simple as that.
And there is somewhat of a tariff exemption, it sounds like, from clothes like this coming from China. Like if you order less than $800, it's not subjected to tariffs. And it's like, well, even if they tariffed these clothing items, by the way, a sweatshirt, like, for example, that I just threw in my cart at Shein's website for $10 plus a 30% off coupon. So what? I'm going to pay $14 for that? Like if you even, let's tariff it at 200% or 300%. You see what I'm saying? Like, how much are you going to be able to tariff that anyway? It's just, there's unfair labor practices, and we don't allow for that in the United States. So they get cheap labor on these clothing items coming out of China. And we, of course, are producing here in the United States, have to pay more because we pay a fair wage. We don't force people to work, and that's that. So we have to change our behaviors at the point of purchase, friends, right? It's Carol recognizing, hey, these pants don't fit, didn't know they were from China, try to get a refund. Next time I'm going to check. That's what it comes down to. Jake from Magna, good morning.
Jake, are you with us? Buying cheap clothes?
Okay.
Buying cheap clothes. I only on a couple of occasions have we done something like that, but I will say when it comes to buying for youth, a lot of people tend to buy cheaper clothes because they're so quick to grow out of them. That's why a lot of people are just like, why should I put $50 on a pair of jeans for my daughter who's going to outgrow them in a year or two? In reality, a lot of times the way I look at my wife and I when we buy our products, we go to a company like Buckle that makes them that will last for a couple of years. But when it comes to kids, sometimes it's just affordability for the lifespan that they'll plan to wear them.
Well,
that's a great point.
Yeah, and when money's tight, I mean, we tend to go for the least expensive item. I'm guilty of it too. I think we're all guilty of it. This is literally comes down to a commitment to do something different, to lean into that more expensive item if it means we're buying American and we're going to actually deliver on what we say we believe in. Bill, good morning. You think there's certain items that should be manufactured in this country?
Yeah, and to go on what was said a few moments ago, there are many brands out there that we typically deem or feel, hey, this is an American brand. They're actually manufactured offshore. Yeah. And to my point of there are things we need to manufacture here. In COVID, we caught with our pants down. We were experiencing a chip shortage, board shortage, things like this, medical plastic shortage, because we rely on China to provide those things to us. And if for no other reason at all, other than national security, those things should be manufactured here, even if they're being manufactured by robots.
Bill, thank you for the phone call. Let's get a final call from Curtis and Sandy. Curtis, what are your thoughts on this?
The point I want to bring out is people keep talking about the cheaper price, but actually what they're looking for is a cheaper cost. More often than not, they'll buy a cheap price, but that cheap price ends up costing them far more than what they really want to spend because the product doesn't last as long.
So true.
And I found in buying American-made products, more often than not, they have a tendency to last longer. Hence, the one caller talked about how he and his wife go to this other place to buy clothes because they last longer. Well, that's what we should be focusing on, is the longevity of the product, not the price of the product.
Quality.
Not the price of the product at the time we buy it.
Great take. Curtis, thank you for that phone call. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of just stopping ourselves at the point of purchase and recognizing we are two-faced when it comes to shopping. We want the least expensive product, so we're willing to dismiss our commitment to buy American, and then we shop Shein.
Not only to buy American, but buy ethically. And I think, quite honestly, that is one of the arguments that President Trump has for tariffing China. Again, you look at some of the unfair business practices they use, the abuse, the violence, the torture. I mean, the stuff that goes on to produce these very carpets and garments and yarn and food products and holiday decorations. It is an unfair business practice, but that's why you have to fix it on a big level, is because if it just comes down to you and I, are you willing to pay $7 or $70? We're going to pick the $7 all time.
Straight ahead, speaking of money, Harvard University offering free tuition for students for families making under $200,000 a year. I think this is a huge win. But in a twist, Dave has found out something about Ivy League schools that he can't stop thinking about it. Dave's Debbie Downer moment in the 10 o'clock hour.
It's another edition of KSL Sports Basketball Mayhem. Log on right now at KSLSports.com to fill out your bracket. The listener with the top bracket will receive $1,000 of cold, hard cash. And if you finish with a better bracket, then, let's see here. Who can we pick on? How about Jeremiah Jensen? You'll be entered into a drawing to win $500. It's KSL Sports Basketball Mayhem on KSLSports.com.
Let me tell you guys, it is cold and snowy out there today, but I'm going to bring something that will warm your heart. A great fat loss program. It doesn't feel like spring right now. Spring happens officially on Thursday, but there's a great spring sale going with Salt Lake City Fat Loss. You're going to get an extra $200 off the program if you sign up right now. And Salt Lake City Fat Loss was phenomenal for me. I lost so much weight. They told me I could lose up to a pound of fat per day on the program. Many people will lose 20 to 30 pounds in just a month or two. I lost 57 on Salt Lake City Fat Loss. So if you're interested, they got a spring special, even though it feels totally wintry today. Go ahead and reach out to them. slcfatloss.com is the website. slcfatloss.com.
Hi, I'm Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox. When the IRS invades your life, keep in mind, it's not just you.
My name is David. I was in trouble with the IRS. I owed about $140,000. It was a very stressful thing to know that you owed that much money to the IRS.
Don't face the IRS alone.
When I knew how much I owed, it was really, it's overwhelming. It's you worry about the whole, your whole world, what's going to happen.
With everything in your life at stake, don't trust just anyone.
Everything was said and done, and with the IRS offered me to pay $4,000.
You need someone to fight for you.
Do not hesitate. Do not think it twice. Go see Jordan Wilcox.
Visit endtaxworry.com. Put an end to IRS collection and aggression today. That's endtaxworry.com.
Anybody that needs help in this situation, please go see him.
endtaxworry.com.
Hi friends, Dan the Laptop Man here from PC Laptops. In celebration of over 32 years of serving humans in Utah with their computer and tech needs, we've slashed our prices. And these are the new 2025 models. Here's the deal. You can get our new 2025 S1 desktop with a blazing Ryzen 5 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and over a terabyte of blazing fast storage on this promotion. We also have our new 2025 SM3 laptop with the Intel i5 processor, 16 gigs, and over a terabyte of storage for $999. You can take one home today for $999. And you also get the peace of mind of our lifetime service warranty. We also have 12 months special financing available, and they start as low as $29 a month. But hurry in, because supplies are limited. Because at PC Laptops, we love you. PCLaptops.com. Take home a blazing fast 2025 model desktop or laptop for $999 at PCLaptops.com.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors, and I'm proud to tell you we don't lay off employees when things get tough. During the pandemic, we didn't let one of our installers go. Instead, We had them clean and remodel our offices so they could still get paid. Remember the 2008 housing crisis? It was a financial nightmare for even the biggest contractors. Still, we didn't lay off a single worker. Nope, we sacrificed profits to keep paying everyone. Look, when the economy's down, most contractors are quick to lay off their workers. It's the easiest way to save money when times get tight. But at RGS Exteriors, we're loyal to our people. You know why? Because it's the right thing to do. People first. People always. That's the RGS way. For gutters, siding, windows, and more, call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or visit rgsexteriors.com. That's rgsexteriors.com, 801-280-3110.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
10 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Andy Farnsworth. KSL's top story this hour. Avalanche danger will be rising with this latest storm, dropping a few feet of heavy, wet snow in the mountains. And we've already had our share of avalanches this month. The Utah Avalanche Center says we had 27 avalanches in the state just last weekend. 15 of them were triggered by people. The storm is shifting south and east as we head through the morning. KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson is tracking it.
Hardest hit areas right now, it's Tooele Valley, the south end of the Salt Lake Valley, and north end of Utah Valley. And it's funny because Salt Lake Valley south end and north end of Utah Valley was seeing nothing for the early morning commute.
Matt says the weather station at the Salt Lake Airport has recorded over 3.4 inches of snow this morning, making it the largest storm in Salt Lake of the season. The Highway Patrol says they responded to over 50 crashes this morning. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin are scheduled to speak over the phone today and talk about a potential ceasefire in Ukraine. White House Special Envoy Steve Witkoff met last week with Putin in Moscow to discuss the proposal last week in preparation for today's phone call. Your money at this moment. The Dow is down almost a full percent, down 363 points to 41,478. Coming up, the snow should mostly clear out by noon, but it's not gone yet. And we've got wet roads and lots of backups. Traffic and weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:02.
Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-961-5544. 800-961-5544.
Spring is here and adventure is calling. Picture this, the open road ahead, your family laughing together, and cozy nights around a campfire. There's no better way to make memories than with an RV from a Motorsportsland RV Center. Getting started is more affordable than you think. With trailers starting at just $6 a day, you can take your dream vacation without breaking the bank. We make it easy with upfront pricing, no hidden fees, and hundreds of RVs to choose from. Unlike other dealers, we don't surprise you with freight, prep, option costs, or cash payment charges. We'll even train you on your new RV at no extra cost. For over 55 years, families have come to us for the top brands, expert service, and a huge RV parts selection. Have an outdoor adventure without leaving the comfort of your home on wheels. Come in today and let Motorsportsland help you get away.
Let Motorsportsland help you get away.
Motorsportsland.com.
A couple weeks ago was nice, but you didn't really think we were done with the cold, did you? What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and if you haven't scheduled your annual furnace tune-up yet, I got some good news for you. Normally, we charge $124 to tune up your furnace, but not today. If you call today, Tuesday, March 18th, and mention you heard this ad, we'll give you $95 off and tune up your furnace for only $29. You won't hear this ad tomorrow, so call Any Hour Services right now to schedule. 801-443-7400. A furnace tune-up is the least expensive way to extend the life of your furnace and avoid unexpected breakdowns. And our technicians service all brands. 801-443-7400. If it's more convenient, go to anyhourservices.com and look for the red button that says Book Online. Schedule your $29 tune-up there. That's a $124 value for only $29. If you get a hold of Any Hour Services today, call 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Mountain America's low-rate auto loans. We still have several slow spots to contend with, probably the worst of which is trying to go south on Mountain View Corridor, going up that hill from 4100 south to 5400 south. It's really slick, and traffic is really struggling to keep going once they have to come to a stop. So if you can, stick with 5600 west. That's a little bit less steep of a hill. You can follow that between 4100 and 6200 south, 5400 south, and move a lot better. We still have Bangerter delays over through Taylorsville. Northbound I-15 and southbound 15 reduced speeds from Sandy to Midvale and Murray. We've got delays still coming over Point of the Mountain on North 15, and north and southbound 15 backed up in each direction approaching American Fork. Don't let your customers march into your business with madness because your parking lot is loser. Buzzer beat the weather. Call GoPave Utah. They're a slam dunk for asphalt repairs and maintenance. GoPaveUtah.com. KSL weather, the snow shower should be mostly gone this afternoon with the exception of some lake effect bands. And we get to see sunshine tomorrow with a high of 45 degrees. Right now it is 32 degrees and mostly cloudy in Salt Lake City. I'm Andy Farnsworth from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio.
Dave was so excited this morning to talk about the pre-Harvard tuition story. It actually broke yesterday. We talked about it on the air, but Dave's like, I want to revisit it because I've got a take that I have to share. I'm not too impressed with his take.
You should love my take.
I've had a sneak preview of it, but maybe our listeners will really buy in to it. But let me just set the scene real quick, Dave, so everybody knows what we're talking about if you didn't hear the news yesterday. Harvard is now covering tuition. Free tuition, free 99, as I like to say, for students whose families make $200,000 a year or less, which basically could be most people in Utah.
Yes.
I mean, because of what, the average wage or whatever is about $75,000 a year here. I'm like, even if it's two-parent household, a lot of students would qualify for that. It doesn't mean you're going to get in. But Dave is like, he's a Debbie Downer on this one. Why?
So many reasons. First of all, I don't think folks understand or know how much it costs to go to Harvard. Okay? So just ask yourself, listeners, how much do you think it costs to go to Harvard, a year of tuition? Well, it's $50,000, $25,000 a semester.
Can I stop you right there?
Okay.
You were so adamant about this morning that you literally wrote down these words. I pray my children don't go to Harvard.
Thank you. Yes. You know what? I buried the lead. You're absolutely right. That's in the business, in the news business, that is called, Dave, you buried the lead. You're absolutely right. Thank you for getting me back on track. I pray every single day that my kids never, ever even cast an eye in the direction of any Ivy League schools.
Why?
Now this is where I can start explaining why. Thank you. No, you're absolutely right. Because it is so expensive, the return on investment is not worth it. And not even close to it, in my opinion.
Here we go. ROI.
ROI, which is all you should care about. Okay, so the Department of Education actually has what they call a college scorecard. And there's this great article in CNBC, and they break it down. Let's use Harvard as the example. So it's going to cost you $50,000 in tuition, but if you want to live somewhere and you want to eat something and you want to buy some books, room and board books, it's going to cost you, hold on to your pocketbooks here, folks, $83,000 a year. You do that for 4 years, that's $332,000 a year. Okay? And this is on par with other Ivy League schools, Brown, Yale. Okay? So this is not just, I'm not picking on Harvard. This is what Ivy League costs. It's very expensive. So $330,000 for your education. If you're going to go get your Harvard degree and you're a Harvard grad and you're walking into a company and you're like, Harvard grad here, what should you expect to be making 10 years down the road? This is not coming right out of Harvard. They track this. They say, you know what? Get your feet under you, get into a business. What should you be making as a Harvard grad 10 years down the road? Well, they track this. They have this number. Are you ready for this? $95,000.
10 years down the road.
10 years down the road.
Is that the median
That's
income?
the median.
Okay.
So what is horrifying about this number of $95,000 is half the Harvard grads are making less than $95,000 on their $320,000 education. That to me is abysmal. That is awful. How do you look at your Harvard grads, and as you're patting them on the way out, patting them on the back, handing them the diploma, you say, all right, 50-50 that you're going to be making six figures in 10 years. If you're selling me that, if you're telling me that, do you think the graduates are like pumping their fist in the air like, yippee, I'm so excited, 50-50 chance of making six figures after I just dropped $250,000 to get this education?
So are you suggesting that if somebody in Utah is offered free tuition at Harvard because of this new program that they've just launched yesterday, that they should not take it?
No. If it's free, it changes everything.
Okay.
Right?
How
Because
so?
it goes from being a $330,000 education down to a room and board education.
And let me just add to that. I think this even sweetens the pot. If your family makes $100,000 a year or less, and you get accepted to Harvard, they will cover everything, like tuition, housing, food. You need some health care when you're there because you get a sore throat and it won't go away. You get an ear infection like I did in college, it won't go away. They'll cover it because they offer health services for you and other student services too. So if your parents are bringing in less than $100K a year, and I'm talking to college age students right now, they'll cover everything, literally everything that you need in order to attend Harvard. If your parents make less than $200,000 a year and you get in, they'll cover tuition. I think this is phenomenal. I just don't see a downside to it.
Yeah, if you're getting it for free.
Sure.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yale doesn't do it. Right? Yale's not giving free tuition for people making under $200,000. Maybe that's the trend. Maybe it's the fact that Harvard has a $53 billion endowment and they're pulling in 10% returns on that endowment, that they can do some of this stuff. I don't care why they're doing it. I'm just telling you, 1 in 4 graduates or people that attend Harvard, they're not paying anything. But that means 75% are. 75% are looking at that $50,000 a year tuition and the $83,000 it costs to do it. They're looking at it and they're like, I'm paying it. And I'm paying it because I think it's worth it. And what I'm saying is, are you sure it's worth it? If 10 years out, you're not even making six figures?
I couldn't disagree with you more on this. Dave's team, pray his kids never get in. Pray his kids never get in. That's how adamant he is about the Ivy League education not being worth it. I am on team shoot for the stars. Shoot for the Ivy League school. If that's what you want to do in life, I'm not saying, if I can afford it. I'm saying if that's what you want to do in life, go for it. A couple of things I would tell my kids if I was having this conversation, like, Mom, it's $400,000. A couple of things. First of all, I would tell them, nobody can ever take your education away from you. Nobody. So if you want a University of Utah degree, and that is part of your life goals, get into the University of Utah. If you want a Harvard degree, do what you can to outsmart the 50,000 other applicants that are going to apply this year to Harvard, and do what you can to get into Harvard. And you say, oh, well, what about the money? We can figure that out. But shoot for the start. Don't be like I was the other day when the College of William and Mary won the female basketball team got a big win. I don't know. I was just watching the highlights, and I'm like, that's one of the biggest regrets that I have, is that back many, many years ago, I, as a teenager, happened to visit the College of William and Mary. Kind of a weird opportunity. I was there. And I was like, I want to go here. I loved that school. I loved that campus. And I just felt like that was a place that I needed to be. I went to Arizona State University. It's a great school. It's a great school. I had a great education. I had a good time there. I learned a lot. It launched me into my career in the news business for sure. They have the best, or one of the best, journalism programs in the entire country. I absolutely love the fact that I went to ASU. But when I saw the College of William and Mary come up on the screen, I'm like, I never really sought that out. And here I am going on 58 years old, and I'm like, 40 years ago, I would have loved to have gone there. And I would tell my kids that. If you have a dream and it's something that you think you want to pour your whole heart and soul into, go for it. Because this opportunity is not going to be around forever. And if it's free, even better. Absolutely go for that.
I'm far too practical.
You are.
You look at it and you say, we'll figure out the money. Well, America, we have not figured out the money. We have not figured out the student loans. We have $1.74 trillion in student loan debt, which is preventing people from getting into homes, preventing them from, living the life that they want to, because they are burdened by all of this debt, not just school loan debt, car debt, home debt. So when I look at the justification behind a $330,000 education from Harvard, I can't help but look at, is it going to pay off? And the fact that half of Harvard grads 10 years down the road aren't even making six figures, then something's broken.
That's an astounding number.
It's an astounding number.
Where'd you get that from?
CNBC. There's a scorecard from the Department of Education.
Uh-huh.
It's literally called the College Scorecard. And it will break down how much tuition is, how much it costs, and then what you can expect the average salary. So there's average and then there's median. The reason I love median so much is if you have a Harvard grad that is a petroleum engineer, or a very high earner, they're making millions of dollars a year, that'll skew the average. The reason I love talking about the median is because it's like, okay, half the people are making more, half the people are making less. And if half the people are making less than $95,000 as a college grad, then that is a broken system. If I'm going to invest that much money and time, and if the prestige is so exceptional to be a Harvard graduate that the companies are just begging you to show up, and they're going to throw you boatloads of cash, wheelbarrows full of cash, then awesome. Then I can justify it.
Dave and I talking about Harvard offering free tuition to students whose families make under $200,000, $200K a year or less. Dave is on team pray this kids never get in. Literally said he prays his kids never get into Harvard. I am on team shoot for the Ivy League stars. Whose team are you on? 801-575-TALK. Are you on team practical or on team go for it? Because I'm on team go for it. And when you talk about the price of enrollment, Dave, and by the way, we're taking live calls. Sorry about that. 801-575-TALK. 801-575-TALK. Whose team you on? You on Team Dave or Team Deb here? When you talk about the price of enrollment, Dave, and tuition, and you bring up Harvard, well, look at the University of Utah. I think you could talk yourself or your kids out of an education, a higher education, a college degree at every single turn if you follow that philosophy, Team Practical. Yesterday, I looked up the price of tuition with room and board at the University of Utah, and it comes in right around, let's just say for argument's sake, $30,000 a year. And if you are taking 5 years, which is kind of average now for a lot of kids to get their degrees, their diplomas, it's $150K to attend the University of Utah. You're telling me $150K is a lot easier to deal with than $330K? Yeah, it's $200,000 different, but you're still $150K in debt likely because you're taking out student loans or you're working and paying as you go to school. So I think you could take your practical self and really start talking your kids out of not going to college at all if you use that philosophy.
Oh, well, I think we need to be asking these tough questions. We need to challenge the universities and say, you're going to have to prove to me right now that the degree you're offering me, the education you're giving me is practically leading to jobs that benefit my life, right? Okay, education, that's great. We should learn, but you can be highly educated. You can have a passion for learning without going to college. We all know plenty of people that are just voracious readers, that love to have conversations, that are constantly in the pursuit of education. Doesn't mean I need to go pay $30,000 a year or $50,000 a year at Harvard to gain that education. The reason I go to college is so that I can get a job. And if you're telling me that the job is only paying $95,000 for my $330,000 investment, then I'm disappointed.
801-575-TALK, taking live calls. Are you on Team Dave? Are you on Team Deb? I'd say shoot for the Ivy League stars if you have that opportunity. Harvard now offering a free tuition and room and board, in fact, if your family makes less than $100,000 a year. Hi, Rachel.
Hi.
Are you on Team Shoot for the Stars? Or are you on Team Dave, praying the kids never get into an Ivy League school?
I'm on Team Dave for this one.
Why? What's going on?
He was just talking about undergrad. I think you add about $25,000 more when you add a graduate school. Like I'm applying to law school right now, and that's about the price it adds when you want to go to law school or the medical schools or other graduate programs.
But you can't be a lawyer, right, unless you have a college degree and a law degree. Am I correct? Right. So if you want to be an attorney and that's your goal, you've got to go to college, right? You can't practice law and represent people in criminal court or in civil court if you don't have a degree. So if your goal in life is to be a lawyer, then you got to go to college for that.
Yeah. But I don't think this is the problem. I don't think we tell people this is how much you can expect to make as a lawyer. Right? If I'm going to go in debt hundreds of thousands of dollars in 5, 6, 7, 8 years in school, depending on how long it takes me to get done, what is your expectation? How much money do you expect to make? And if you're telling a Harvard grad that you're going to make under 6 figures for all of this time and investment and all the prestige, I'm absolutely convinced people would be massively disappointed.
But wouldn't you agree that there are going to be some attorneys who go into the specific line of attorney as a public defender, for example, may not make as much money as somebody who's representing the stars of Hollywood?
True.
In a lawsuit.
Yeah, what are you chasing?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, what are your goals? If that's your goal, you're going to be making a lot more money than somebody who works in, a small county as a public defender. 801-575-TALK. Let's get to Phil in Spanish Fork. Are you in favor of shooting for the stars when it comes to higher ed?
I actually am. I can't wait to tell my wife that I make more money than a Harvard grad, and we're doing better. B, I would consider myself a failure as a parent if my kids were considering an Ivy League school. However, at the same time, I like that they're going to be providing that opportunity to a broader audience.
Phil,
And
were you shocked?
It might make the brand a bit better.
Were you shocked that half of Harvard grads are making less than $95,000?
That's absolutely shocking.
I about fell out of my chair.
Yeah, and there's so many better ways that, the trades are way better. Way better return than that. I can't believe that.
Phil, thank you so much for the call. Can we squeeze Jake in? One last phone call? All right, Jake. Jake from Magna. Love hearing from you. Where do you land? Are you Team Dave, Team Deb?
I'm Team Dave on this one. 2 quick points. First being, we have not disclosed or talked about the GPA requirements. Students will be held to a high regard. I mean, have any of us been a straight 8 students? Because if
Jake,
not, you may not get that benefit.
Okay, but you're thinking in a Utah kind of sense where there are Ivy League schools out there, and there are higher education programs like law school or like medical school that do require students to maintain in high school and in college a higher GPA. I mean, that's just well known, right?
Well, yes, but I'm just saying that if there's a lot of students that say we have a family that has a student that gets a 3.6 GPA, they could send their student off to college. But the moment a student gets their first D, that benefit goes away, and they can never get that again, which is a huge negative. And that's why I'm just thinking we have to be cautious of, because I wasn't a perfect student in college, but when it comes down to moving forward in things in life,